Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name's Abdul Kareem and this is Come to Goodness. Today a brother reached out to me and he had a question. So I'm going to read his question out aloud. It says, "Brother, I'm getting bad thoughts suddenly. I've just started properly praying and I have very strong faith. Alhamdulillah. But suddenly I'm having bad thoughts about everything, and old incidents which are absolutely normal have suddenly now turned into guilt without any reason, and I'm having disgusting thoughts that I've never even thought about, and suddenly I'm feeling that I did this and that with bad intentions." So he's asking basically, is this shaitan's waswas? So I want to tell you a story about me and how I overcame the waswas. So a few years back, I was a devout atheist. I used to go out and just try to debunk religion. I used to do it with a glee on my face, the same glee that I have now. So I used to say religion is nonsense, and that was my theme. And then I met my wife and I got the Quran and I started reading it. And the first time I read it, I remember Surah Al-Baqarah. I was kind of reading the translations and I was like, this is a bit weird. And I couldn't really get through it. But then at some point I started listening to the full Quran, because my wife was very devout. I was kind of on the edge. At that point I figured out something spiritually. I knew about religion and what should be and what shouldn't be. So I just started learning slowly. I read the Quran. And at the same time, these evil thoughts came in my mind. I'm not going to get into details of what the evil thoughts are. But you can see even there, right there, there's some guilt. Because I have evil thoughts, but I'm not going to tell you. Because we feel ashamed. Because we think that those voices in our minds are us. And the truth is that we are not our thoughts. And it doesn't really matter the thoughts that go on in our head. And me, when I first became a Muslim, when I first embraced it, I started really getting down. I was super depressed. I was like, I joined this religion and now I'm having the waswas. Now I'm having these thoughts, and especially when you're praying, you're making salah and suddenly it's just like, what you're doing is nonsense, or God who, or start swearing, random thoughts, and you're like, just please, I'm just trying to pray. And the truth is that we know shayateen are there. And we know that they're constantly trying to get us astray. And especially when we get closer to Islam, especially when we've come from the darkness and we're walking in towards the light, they are trying to block our path. And then they make us feel as though those thoughts in our head, those sounds in our brain belong to us. And the truth is, those are their words. I will repeat myself. They are the words of Iblis. So it doesn't matter what he says. You are not responsible for something someone else says. If you're in a classroom, you're trying to be a good boy, and another student turns around and is like, hey, and he starts swearing at you. Would the teacher then turn around and says, you're responsible because that boy is telling you these things? You wouldn't. And in the same way, don't feel responsible for the things that the shayateen go and whisper in your mind. It's not you, and it doesn't matter. And the way I overcame the waswas, and don't make it sound, I'm not gonna make it sound as though I'm cured, you know. I took this injection and it's like, Provs, it's gone, I'm good, I'm golden. No, waswas is something we all have to live with, but we can overcome it. We can silence it until it is less than a whisper, and this is how. Firstly, step 1. Don't bother about whatever they say. They will tell you that you are guilty of this. You know, a woman walks into the room and she's wearing a bright pink dress. You know, she's like, and you look at her. It's Iblis going, haha, this one, we can get him on this issue. So Iblis starts whispering, are you looking at that woman because she has a bright pink dress and it caught you by surprise? You're like, where's a pink dress like that? Or are you looking at her because secretly you're attracted to her? And then these feelings come in your heart and you're like, man, what did I do? I've cheated with my... We don't know which is our thoughts and which is Iblis's thoughts. So if something comes into your head, don't worry about it. Why? Because you're adding fuel to the fire. Imagine shayateen are literally fire. Would you give them fuel? It makes them stronger. No, just take it away. Just say, look, brother. Just say, look, I don't care what you say. So step 1 is stop caring what they say. Step 2 is ignorance. Now I don't mean ignorance. I mean ignoring them. See, they will whisper and whisper and whisper. And just like you're in the class and that annoying kid is gonna try to whisper, he's like, hey, hey, hey you, hey you. If you look straight ahead at the whiteboard and listen to the teacher, that annoying child will get louder and louder before giving up. And the shayateen are living creatures too. We make them sound as these mysterious ghosts that are spooking around. We make it seem as though they're lurking in the toilet just waiting to ambush us like vipers. No, these are living people. These are living people just like you and me. That's the other way around. But the thing is that the shayateen are people too. And they will get disheartened too. They will come along and say, I'm going to bring this one away from the light. And then, when you continue walking, and they're trying to get in front of you, hey, brother, you did something wrong. Look at this darkness you did. Look at this bad thoughts in your mind. Telling you to cheat. Telling you to murder. Telling you to slap someone upside the head. Telling you to get violent. Telling you this, that. If you ignore him and look straight ahead, just keep walking towards the light, he will get disheartened because he is a living being too. He has feelings. And the shayateen will eventually go, I'm tired. And when that happens, you have won. And you will continue walking towards the light and the shayateen will keep whispering. But his whispers will get shallower and shallower because he will be tired. He will be tired. Because remember, you are entering the light. And this is a creature of darkness. Well, metaphorical darkness. It's a creature of fire, but metaphorically speaking. And it will get tired. Because it hates the light. And you will go to a place it hates. And why would it stay in a place it hates? So it will get quieter and quieter. Now, I'm not going to tell you that there's some cure that will give you a 2-second injection. We in the Western world especially want our 2-second quick fix. No, if you want to fix it properly, if you want to cure this problem, you got to be steady. You got to be firm. You just got to keep walking towards that light. And remember the 2 steps. Step 1, Do not hold accountability for anything that enters your mind. And step 2, ignore it. The shayateen will give up. And in fact, the shayateen hates me for making this video for you. You know, when they hear me talking to you about this, they're gonna tell you things. They're like, bruvs, that won't never work. That's because they're terrified. The thing that terrifies them the most will make them chatter the loudest. But if you keep doing that thing, the thing that terrifies them, the light that you're walking towards, you know, the closer you get to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the quieter they will become. At first they will scream and shout, they will bang the drums in your mind to try and get your attention. Ignore it. Because it's a sign you are doing the right thing. The louder your waswas is, the more you're going towards the path of light. Brothers and sisters, I can know it's hard. I know the suffering, and I'm not going to make you false promises. I'm not going to tell you that there's this cure, that one day you'll wake up and never again will you have waswas. It's something we all have to live with. But you can make it quieter than a whisper. So just follow these tips. Walk towards Islam. Read the Quran. It will act as a guidance and a mercy from Allah. The more you embrace the Quran, the more you go towards Islam, the more you go towards Allah, and ignore all of the bad thoughts. If you say, waswas, I do not care what you say, I am not responsible for you. If Iblis is coming and you say, I do not care the words that come out of your mouth, I am not responsible for you, he will feel let down. Because he knows his words are useless against you. And if you ever feel guilty, and if you ever slip, just remember that that's normal. Thank Allah for the slippage. Thank Allah for this opportunity to come into the light. And remember Allah, come to goodness.